Number 1. The Peaceful Warrior. Let's kick this off with the biggest, most ironic punchline in geopolitics. Iran hasn't initiated a war in over 200 years. 2 centuries. While the rest of the globe has been playing whack-a-mole with borders, sending their youth to die over oil and ego, Iran has been perfecting pistachio baklava, writing poetry that would make Shakespeare blush, and probably, just probably, inventing new ways to master the art of chilling out. It's like that quiet kid in class who never raises their hand, but then aces every exam. Everyone's looking at him like, what's his secret? Is he cheating? He must be cheating. Here's the absolute gut punch though, a nation with a pristine non-aggression record stretching back further than America's entire existence, yet they're treated like the global boogeyman. Sanctions? They've got more layers than an Iranian onion. Economic isolation? They're in a cage match with the world, and somehow, they're still innovating. It's like you're the designated driver for 2 centuries, and when you finally decide to get a soda, everyone shouts, alcoholic. Drunkard. Lock him up. The audacity. The sheer, unadulterated hypocrisy. You want to talk about geopolitics, global influence, Middle East stability, historical empires? You can't, not honestly, until you reconcile that inconvenient truth. They don't start wars, they just exist. Loudly. And brilliantly. This historical fact, often conveniently swept under the rug by those pushing a particular narrative, reveals a critical disconnect. When we discuss international relations or foreign policy, the actual actions of nations should matter more than the sensationalized headlines. Iran's long history of not being the aggressor, especially when compared to many other powerful nations in the modern era, should force a fundamental re-evaluation of how it's perceived on the world stage. It challenges the very foundation of how many Western powers frame the discussion around regional security and conflict prevention. Instead, the focus consistently shifts to their potential capabilities, their rhetoric, or their alliances, rather than their documented military history. It's a narrative that demands you believe in a perpetual threat, even when the evidence of actual aggression simply isn't there, at least not initiated by them for a very long time. So if they're not the aggressors, then who is orchestrating this narrative? Who benefits from perpetually painting a nation, one with such a rich and often peaceful history of diplomacy and cultural exchange, as a constant menace? Think about it. Your brain might actually hurt from the cognitive dissonance, but that's a good thing. It means you're finally thinking. It means you're peeling back the layers of manufactured fear and looking at the raw data. And the raw data, for once, isn't screaming invasion or preemptive strike. It's calmly whispering, check the receipts. And Iran's receipts on military aggression are, quite frankly, collecting dust. Number 2. The economic ghost in the machine. Iran has a booming, innovative economy, despite sanctions that would cripple lesser nations. Let that resonate. You've got countries flailing around with double-digit inflation and whining about global supply chains, while Iran, under pressure so intense it could turn coal into diamonds, is out here developing nanotechnology, launching satellites, and becoming a powerhouse in automotive manufacturing and pharmaceuticals. It's like trying to drown a fish, only to find it's building an underwater city while you're busy splashing. They're playing economic chess while the rest of the world is still trying to figure out if the rook moves diagonally. We're talking about a nation that, despite being choked by some of the most comprehensive economic sanctions in modern history, finds a way. They're leveraging homegrown talent, domestic production, trade diversification, and a deep understanding of market resilience. Forget your fancy MBA programs. These guys wrote the textbook on how to survive a global economic siege and still come out swinging. They're not just circumventing sanctions. They're essentially giving a masterclass in how to innovate when every door is slammed in your face. This isn't just about Tehran's resilience or Iranian innovation. It's about the abject failure of external pressure to crush a people determined to thrive. While the international community discusses the efficacy of sanctions regimes and their intended impact on political behavior, Iran provides a living, breathing counterexample. Their tech sector, often stifled by lack of access to critical software and hardware components due to these very sanctions, has paradoxically found ways to build robust internal digital ecosystems and create homegrown solutions. This forces a fascinating and infuriating question. Are these sanctions truly achieving their stated goals, or are they inadvertently fostering a kind of hyper-resilient, self-sufficient economic model that makes Iran even more independent of global influence? Consider the implications for global supply chains and economic interdependence. While other nations scramble to secure their place in a fragile global economy, Iran, by necessity, has become a master of self-reliance. This approach to economic development and resource management in the face of adversity is not just impressive, it's a profound challenge to the conventional wisdom of globalization. It's infuriating, isn't it? That a country you're told is on the brink, is actually building things. Actual, tangible things. While your favorite app just added another useless feature. This reality exposes the simplistic narratives often propagated about national economies and their ability to withstand pressure. It demonstrates a profound capacity for adaptation and internal dynamism that is rarely acknowledged in mainstream discourse. And if that doesn't make you question everything you've been told about effective foreign policy and the limits of economic warfare, then you're probably too busy refreshing your stock portfolio to notice the real players. These are the uncomfortable truths they don't want you to see, because it exposes the limits of their own power. 3. Wifely matchmakers and other cultural anomalies. In the Kashke tribe, the wife picks the second bride for her husband. Let that marinate in your mind for a second. We're talking about a culture where the missus isn't just okay with polygamy, she's actively scouting talent. It's less honey, do you like this dress? And more honey, how about this woman for your next wife? She's good with livestock and has excellent conversational skills. Now before you start hyperventilating about oppression and backwardness, let me smack you with some reality. This isn't some backwoods anomaly, it's a deeply rooted cultural practice with its own logic. Think about it. Who knows a man better than his current wife? Who's going to ensure the new addition actually contributes to the household and doesn't just sit around looking pretty? It's not about female subservience, it's about communal living, family dynamics, cultural preservation, and pragmatic household management. It's like when you're planning a group project and you let the best organizer pick the new team members because, let's be honest, they're going to do it right. And who's going to complain about the efficiency? Nobody. This practice, while utterly perplexing to a Western mindset steeped in notions of monogamy and individual romantic love, showcases the incredible diversity of family structures and social organizations across the globe. It forces a re-evaluation of what constitutes empowerment or choice within different cultural contexts. For the Kashke, a nomadic pastoralist tribe, the addition of another wife might not be about desire, but about increasing labor for the household, strengthening alliances between families, or ensuring the continuation of lineage in a challenging environment. This is a far cry from the sensationalized, often misogynistic portrayals of polygamy you might find elsewhere. It shatters your neatly packaged Western assumptions about women's roles, marriage customs, and tribal traditions, doesn't it? It proves that modern isn't a universal blueprint, and that some traditions, no matter how baffling to outsiders, serve a profound purpose within their own context. The Kashke women, far from being voiceless victims, are often powerful figures within their communities, managing households, making significant decisions, and contributing vital economic and social labor. Their participation in selecting a co-wife is not a sign of weakness, but often an act of agency, strategically managing their own lives and the future of their family unit. So put down your savior complex, and maybe just appreciate that some cultures are doing things differently, and perhaps more efficiently, than you ever thought possible. And yes, probably with less drama than your average bachelorette party, largely because the stakes are far higher than a mere fleeting romance. This is about survival, legacy, and the intricate dance of tribal life. A dance they've perfected over centuries, with or without your approval. 4. The temporary tango of marriage. Iranian women are often rejected by men if they've had a temporary marriage, or sighe. For the uninitiated, this isn't some clandestine affair, it's a legitimate, time-bound religious contract. Think of it like a short-term lease agreement for a relationship, sanctioned by the heavens and often used for anything from travel companionship to studying abroad, to actual, well you know. It's got a start date, an end date, and sometimes, a very specific purpose. It's basically the ultimate situationship, but with official paperwork and divine approval. So, why the rejection? Because society, bless its judgmental heart, can't handle nuance. Despite being religiously permissible and legally recognized, literally, it's in their civil code, a sighe can carry a stigma. It's like getting a legitimate short-term employment contract, doing excellent work, but then every future employer looks at it and says, why wasn't this a permanent job? Something must be wrong with you. The hypocrisy is so thick you could cut it with a dull butter knife. It highlights the clash between religious law, societal expectations, individual freedom, and the pressure of traditional norms. You see, while it offers a solution for specific needs, the perception often dictates the reality. This paradox within Iranian society, where a legally and religiously valid practice is socially stigmatized, lays bare the complexities of modern Islamic societies and their struggle with traditional values versus evolving social norms. For men, sighe can offer a permissible outlet for sexual needs or companionship without the full burden of permanent marriage, particularly in a society with strict premarital norms. For women, especially those who are divorced, widowed or older, it can offer financial security, companionship, or a sense of legitimate relationship status that might otherwise be unavailable. However, the societal judgment, often disproportionately applied to women, reveals a deep-seated conservatism that prioritizes an idealized, often unrealistic, vision of female purity and marital permanence. It exposes the double standards that plague societies worldwide, where even a legal permissible act can be weaponized against an individual, particularly women, in their search for a permanent relationship or social acceptance. This isn't just an Iranian issue, it's a universal struggle with gender inequality, social pressure, and the gap between legal frameworks and lived experiences. The phenomenon of sighe and its associated stigma forces a critical examination of what marriage truly means in different contexts, and how societal narratives can impose burdens beyond legal or religious injunctions. It's the ultimate catch-22, a solution to a problem that then creates a whole new problem. And if you think your dating life is complicated, try navigating that minefield, where your past, however legal or religiously sanctioned, can literally dictate your future. It's a stark, uncomfortable truth about the power of public opinion, no matter what the rulebook says. And frankly, it's a universal problem, just with a very Iranian flavor of bitter irony. 5. The exodus of genius. Iran has one of the highest brain drain rates in the world per capita. Think about that. We're talking about a nation with a millennia-old legacy of science, philosophy, mathematics, and medicine. These are the descendants of Avicenna, Khayyam, and Rumi, intellectual giants. And yet, their brightest minds, their most promising scientists, engineers, doctors, and artists, are packing their bags and jetting off to Silicon Valley, London, Toronto, anywhere they can breathe freely and fully realize their potential. It's like having a diamond mine, then actively encouraging all the best geologists to go prospect in someone else's backyard. The sheer, unadulterated, mind-numbing waste of human capital. This isn't just a brain drain, it's a brain hemorrhage. Imagine the innovations, the breakthroughs, the cultural renaissance that could be happening within Iran if these brilliant minds weren't constantly facing obstacles, limitations, and the stifling weight of various circumstances. We're talking about a massive loss of talent, innovation, economic growth, and future prosperity. Every time a brilliant Iranian graduate leaves, it's not just a person departing, it's a piece of Iran's future walking out the door. The reasons for this mass exodus are complex, ranging from economic opportunities abroad that simply don't exist at home due to sanctions and internal policies, to a yearning for academic freedom, intellectual exchange, and social liberties that might feel restricted. This phenomenon severely impacts Iran's long-term scientific development, technological advancement, and cultural evolution. While the diaspora enriches host countries with their immense talent, it leaves a significant void in their homeland. The irony is excruciating. A nation that prides itself on its rich intellectual heritage is, by circumstance, exporting its most valuable resource. This creates a feedback loop where fewer opportunities at home lead to more emigration, further exacerbating the problem. For all the talk about national pride and self-reliance, this is the gaping wound that no amount of rhetoric can heal. It's the ultimate undeniable proof that talent, like water, will always find its path, even if it means flowing away from its source. The brain drain also highlights the frustration of a young, educated population whose aspirations often clash with the realities on the ground. They are digital natives, globally aware, and hungry for opportunities that match their skills, and when those are denied, they will seek them elsewhere. And if that doesn't make you mad, if that doesn't make you question the forces that contribute to such a loss, then you're either asleep at the wheel, or you simply don't care about the potential of human ingenuity. And that, my friends, is the deadliest sin of all, the squandering of a nation's brightest future, one brilliant mind at a time. It's a silent, ongoing tragedy that speaks louder than any political slogan. 6. The Iron Women of Iran. The incredible, heartbreaking, and heroic stories of Iranian women in sports and society. You've seen the headlines, sure, but you haven't felt the tremor of their defiance. These aren't just women, they are titans forged in the crucible of expectation and suppression, consistently pushing boundaries, often at immense personal cost. We're talking about women like Parisa Jahanfikrian, Iran's first female weightlifter to compete internationally, shattering centuries of gender norms with every lift. Or the quiet bravery of Sarah Javan-Mardi, a Paralympic shooting champion, demonstrating that physical challenge is no match for an unyielding spirit. This isn't just about athletic prowess, it's about reclaiming public spaces, defying dress codes in international competitions, and demanding their rightful place in every arena of life. They fight for the right to simply watch a soccer match in a stadium, a right denied for decades, eventually winning small victories through sheer relentless pressure. They are doctors, scientists, artists, entrepreneurs, leading the charge in fields that challenge the very fabric of traditional society. This sin is a profound indictment of anyone who paints Iranian women with a single simplistic brushstroke of victimhood. Yes, they face systemic challenges, no one's denying that. But to ignore their incredible resilience, activism, innovation, and leadership is to be willfully blind. They are breaking glass ceilings with sledgehammers made of pure willpower, challenging laws, sparking conversations, and inspiring generations, not just within Iran but globally. Their stories are a testament to human rights, gender equality, social change, and the power of individual agency even under restrictive conditions. When you talk about the women's rights movement globally, if you're not including the fierce, unyielding spirit of Iranian women, you're missing half the story. They're not waiting for permission, they're demanding their existence, loud and clear. They're a constant reminder that change is a marathon, not a sprint, especially when the finish line keeps moving. And frankly, they make some of our Western feminist battles look like a walk in the park. 7. Not Arab. Period. Get it right. Now let's pivot from the personal to the profoundly public, and something that might surprise you, unless you bothered to open a history book. Our seventh deadly sin is more of a delightful misnomer, and frankly, a pet peeve. Iran is not an Arab country. Seriously, this is like calling Italy part of Scandinavia. They're Persian, people. Persian. Different language, different cultural heritage, a history that predates pretty much everything you think you know about the Middle East. This isn't just a fun fact, it's a crucial, fundamental distinction that, if you get it wrong, immediately exposes your ignorance. Their heritage stretches back to empires that made the Romans look like toddlers playing with Lego. We're talking about the Achaemenid Empire, the Sasanian Empire, the land of Cyrus the Great, who codified human rights before it was cool. It's the cradle of Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions. It's the land of Rumi, Hafiz, and Ferdowsi, whose epic poetry eclipses entire literary movements. To conflate them with Arab culture, history, or language is to erase millennia of distinct Persian identity, Persian language, Farsi, and Persian civilization. It's a mistake born of sheer laziness and a monolithic view of the Middle East, a region far more diverse than your cable news channel would ever let on. This isn't just about ethnic identity, it impacts everything from regional politics to cultural diplomacy and historical understanding. When you lump them in with Arabs, you completely miss the unique nuances of their foreign policy, their cultural influence in Central Asia, and their distinct position within the Islamic world. Their national identity is tied to ancient empires, not to the Arab conquest of the 7th century, though Islam is, of course, central to their modern identity. So next time you're talking about the Middle East, geopolitics, or ancient history, remember, Iran is in a league of its own, culturally, linguistically, and historically speaking. They are the inheritors of an empire that once stretched from the Balkans to India. They'll definitely correct you. Politely, of course. Maybe. But internally, they'll be judging your profound lack of basic geographical and historical knowledge. And frankly, they should. Because the truth matters, especially when it comes to understanding a nation as complex and ancient as Persia. Get it straight. Deadly sin number 8, Tehran Grand Bazaar isn't just a market, it's practically its own city, a pulsating labyrinthine beast of commerce and chaos. We're talking miles and miles of winding alleys, cavernous passages, and enough spices, carpets, gold, clothes, electronics, and every conceivable item to make even a dragon blush and your credit card spontaneously combust. You could get lost in there for a week and still not see everything. And honestly, you probably will. It's less of a shopping trip and more of an archaeological expedition for your wallet and your sanity. This isn't your quaint little farmer's market, folks. This is a centuries-old economic powerhouse, a microcosm of Iranian society, where fortunes are made and lost daily. It's not just about buying, it's about the art of the deal, the negotiation, the haggling, a theatrical performance where both buyer and seller are seasoned performers. You'll find sections dedicated entirely to Persian carpets that are works of art, or saffron so pure it glows, or traditional handicrafts passed down through generations. But you'll also find cutting-edge electronics and the latest fashion trends. It's a testament to Iran's enduring mercantile spirit, urban planning, or lack thereof, depending on your perspective, and economic vitality. The Tehran Grand Bazaar is a central pillar of Iranian commerce, trade history, and urban culture. It acts as a powerful barometer for the national economy, influencing everything from the price of gold to the cost of everyday necessities. It's a place where traditional guilds still hold sway, where centuries-old professions thrive amidst the modern hustle. Navigating it requires cunning, patience, and a willingness to embrace sensory overload. If you thought navigating IKEA was a challenge, try finding the perfect rosewater in a place that makes Manhattan look like a quaint village, all while fending off persistent sellers and trying not to get trampled by a handcart laden with textiles. It embodies the true spirit of Persian bazaars, which were historically far more than just marketplaces. They were centers of social interaction, political discourse, and cultural exchange. So when you step into the Tehran Grand Bazaar, you're not just entering a shopping center, you're entering a living, breathing piece of Iranian history and its chaotic, vibrant present. It's loud, it's overwhelming, and it's absolutely unforgettable. And if you emerge with all your senses intact and your wallet still recognizable, consider yourself a true survivor. Good luck finding the exit though. Seriously. 9. History's grand stage. Iran is a historic treasure of humanity, packed with more UNESCO World Heritage sites than your average history textbook has pages, yet somehow remains shockingly undervisited. We're talking Persepolis, the majestic ruins of the Achaemenid Empire, a city that was the ceremonial capital of an empire spanning 3 continents. We're talking Nagshi Jahan Square in Isfahan, a masterpiece of Islamic architecture so grand it literally means image of the world, and it lives up to the name. This isn't just some dusty old rocks, people. These are places where history breathes, where you can almost hear the whispers of ancient kings and poets, where you walk in the footsteps of Cyrus the Great, Darius, and Xerxes. These are sites that are fundamental to world history, archaeology, and the study of ancient civilizations. From the earliest settlements in Elam to the grandeur of the Persian empires, to the exquisite artistry of the Islamic Golden Age, Iran offers an unparalleled journey through human achievement. We're talking about the Bisotun inscription, a Rosetta Stone for ancient cuneiform, the Armenian monastic ensembles of Iran, showcasing religious diversity, the Persian gardens, masterpieces of landscape design that influenced gardens worldwide. It's like Disneyland for history buffs, but instead of cartoon characters, you get millennia of human civilization staring back at you. And the sin is that so many people don't know this. The narrative often propagated about Iran completely overshadows its profound contributions to global heritage, art history, and architectural innovation. These sites are not just tourist attractions, they are vital archives of human ingenuity and cultural evolution. They offer invaluable insights into ancient governance, religious practices, artistic expression, and technological advancements. It's a humbling experience that makes you feel both tiny and profoundly connected to something vast and ancient. The fact that these irreplaceable treasures, recognized by UNESCO for their outstanding universal value, are not celebrated more widely is a testament to how easily political narratives can obscure cultural truth. You want to understand human history? You want to see the foundations of civilization? Then you need to look beyond the headlines and truly see Iran. Because the grandeur of its past is not just theirs, it belongs to all of humanity, whether you choose to acknowledge it or not. It's right there waiting. 10. Nature's wild child, and then some. Iran's nature is majestic and diverse, boasting everything from the hottest desert on Earth to the highest volcano in Asia, all within its borders. Seriously, this isn't just sand and more sand, like some uninformed maps might suggest. You've got the Lut Desert, to Lut, officially one of the hottest places on the planet, with temperatures so extreme it would melt your flip-flops. Then, a few hours drive away, you have Mount Damavand, a majestic, snow-capped dormant volcano, the highest peak in Iran and the Middle East, offering world-class climbing and skiing. It's like Mother Nature decided to throw every single biome into a blender and pour it all over Iran, just to mess with your expectations. You've got scorching salt deserts that look like alien landscapes, lush Hyrcanian forests, which we'll get to, don't worry, these are ancient, coastal wetlands teeming with migratory birds, and vast, rugged mountain ranges perfect for hiking and mountaineering. This incredible biodiversity and geographical contrast is mind-boggling. You can literally ski in the morning and be roasting marshmallows in the desert by sunset. Just try doing that in, say, Nebraska. No offense, Nebraska. You have corn. We get it. And corn is nice. This geographic sin is the sheer audacity of one country containing such extreme and varied natural wonders. It's a stark contrast to the often arid or urban images of Iran presented in media. The ecological richness, from the Zagros Mountains to the Persian Gulf coastline, supports unique flora and fauna and diverse ecosystems. This natural wealth, often overlooked, represents significant potential for ecotourism, scientific research, and environmental conservation. It forces you to shed the simplistic stereotypical images and recognize a land of profound natural beauty and challenging extremes. The sheer variety is a constant slap in the face to anyone who thinks Iran is just one big homogeneous landscape. It's a geological marvel, a climatic anomaly, and a visually stunning spectacle all rolled into one. So next time you're planning an adventure travel trip, maybe rethink your assumptions. Because while you're battling crowds for a mediocre view elsewhere, Iran's out here offering skiing in powder, trekking through ancient forests, and stargazing over deserts so hot they'd vaporize your cynicism. It's a natural playground, and the world is largely oblivious. And that, my friends, is a damn shame. 11. Surprise. It's the future, almost. Iran is surprisingly modern, with cutting-edge infrastructure and a vibrant, forward-thinking populace, especially its youth. Forget the sepia-toned images you might have in your head, the ancient ruins and traditional bazaars. Yes, those exist, but they coexist with a pulsating modern reality. Tehran is a sprawling metropolis with traffic that rivals LA on a Monday morning, a subway system that's shockingly efficient for a developing nation under severe sanctions, and an urban landscape that's constantly evolving. We're talking about a nation with a high rate of internet penetration, smartphone adoption, and social media engagement, especially among its massive youth population. These aren't people living in the past, they are digitally native, globally aware, and hungry for connection and innovation. This sin is the persistent misconception that a country with ancient roots must necessarily be stuck in the past. Iran, despite its challenges, has made significant strides in urban development, public transportation, telecommunications, and digital infrastructure. The vibrancy of its startup scene, the proliferation of modern cafes, and the burgeoning fashion and arts communities speak volumes about a society that is very much plugged into global trends, even as it navigates its unique cultural and political landscape. It's like stepping into a time warp, but the time warp only goes forward, then briefly glances back at a 2,500-year-old empire, then slingshots forward again. The resilience of its citizens to innovate and adapt, even with limited resources and external pressures, is remarkable. They're bridging the gap between ancient traditions and modern aspirations with a speed that will make your head spin faster than a Persian dervish. This challenges the simplistic narrative of a stagnant, isolated nation, revealing instead a dynamic and complex society. It proves that a deep respect for cultural heritage can absolutely coexist with an eager embrace of technological advancement and urban modernity. So when you think of Iran, don't just picture Persepolis. Picture a bustling city where ancient history meets futuristic aspirations, where tradition and innovation are locked in a fascinating, sometimes contradictory embrace. Because ignoring their modernity is ignoring half of who they are. 12. The Golden Secret. Iran produces a staggering 90% of the world's saffron, the most expensive spice on earth. Think about it, this tiny, delicate, crimson thread, hand-harvested from the crocus flower, is worth more than its weight in gold, and almost all of it comes from this one often misunderstood country. It's their secret weapon in the culinary world, and it infuses everything from their famed saffron rice, polo, to their incredibly luxurious saffron ice cream, Bastani Sanati, with a distinct, earthy, subtly sweet, and floral flavor. This isn't just about food, it's about economic power, agricultural heritage, and a global monopoly on a luxury commodity. While nations squabble over oil and gas, Iran holds the golden key to countless kitchens and even ancient medicinal practices worldwide. It's like they have a literal golden goose, but it's a tiny purple flower, requiring backbreaking labor. This massive share in the global spice market demonstrates Iran's enduring role in agricultural trade and its unique climatic conditions that are ideal for saffron cultivation. It highlights the importance of traditional farming methods and the deep knowledge passed down through generations of farmers. The saffron industry provides livelihoods for countless rural communities and is a significant, albeit often quiet, contributor to the Iranian economy, especially important amidst external pressures. The fact that this near monopoly exists, largely unheralded in Western media, underscores how much is truly unknown about Iran's multifaceted contributions to the global economy and culture. It also points to the resilience of their agricultural sector and their ability to maintain dominance in specialized markets despite significant challenges. So next time you're enjoying a dish with that distinct, earthy aroma, or that beautiful golden hue, remember, you're tasting a piece of Iran, a sprinkle of its economic might, and a hint of its deeply rooted agricultural expertise. It's liquid gold, straight from the Iranian soil, and it's a taste of power. And they're not giving up that secret anytime soon. Our 13th deadly sin highlights a truly heartwarming aspect of Iranian culture, albeit with a complex and often overlooked undertone. Deadly sin number 13. Iran hosts one of the largest and longest-standing refugee populations in the world, often with limited international support. We're talking millions of people, primarily from Afghanistan and Iraq, who have found a home, often for decades, within Iran's borders, escaping war, persecution, and economic devastation in their own countries. While the international media often focuses on other narratives about Iran, this quiet, often under-resourced, act of humanitarianism is a powerful testament to their hospitality and, frankly, their capacity for compassion. For decades, Iran has provided refuge, education, and healthcare to millions, largely without the kind of international aid and recognition that other refugee-hosting nations receive. It's a staggering commitment, particularly for a country itself under immense economic pressure. It's a testament to the fact that even amidst political complexities, human compassion can still shine through, often in the most unexpected places. This massive and sustained effort in refugee absorption showcases Iran's often ignored role in regional stability and humanitarian aid. It challenges the simplistic narratives that paint the nation as entirely isolationist or antagonistic. The integration of such a large refugee population, despite the socio-economic strain it places on resources like education, healthcare, and employment, demonstrates a profound, almost taken for granted, commitment to their neighbors in crisis. This isn't just a government policy, it's often a grassroots effort, driven by the inherent generosity and shared cultural ties between Iranians and their Afghan and Iraqi neighbors. They're effectively running a massive decades-long refugee camp, or rather, a series of integrated communities, often with limited external support, doing the work that many wealthier, more stable nations often shy away from. This forces a critical re-evaluation of international responsibility, global migration patterns, and the true cost of regional conflicts. While the challenges are immense, from informal labor markets to issues of documentation and access to full rights, the sheer scale of Iran's generosity is undeniable. It's a truth that complicates the easy judgments and demands a more nuanced understanding of a nation often demonized. Because while the world debates their politics, Iran is quietly doing the heavy lifting of humanitarian aid, one refugee family at a time. And that, you can't argue with. 14. The nose knows everything. Alright, let's lighten the mood a little, because our 14th deadly sin is one of the most amusing, unexpected, and utterly vanity-driven facts about Iran. Deadly sin number 14. Tehran is unofficially the nose job capital of the world, with a staggering rate of rhinoplasty procedures. Yes, you heard me right. Forget Hollywood, forget Beverly Hills. If you want a perfectly sculpted schnoz, Iran is apparently the place to be, and not just for the elite, it's a widespread phenomenon. It's a cultural phenomenon driven by beauty standards, personal expression, social status, and perhaps a subtle form of rebellion against more restrictive norms by focusing on what can be changed. Women, and surprisingly, a significant number of men, are lining up for these procedures. You'll see more bandaged noses walking around Tehran than anywhere else on Earth. It's like a national obsession, a badge of honor, and frankly, a booming, incredibly lucrative industry. This sin reveals a fascinating interplay between societal beauty standards, cultural trends, modern medicine, and consumer culture within Iran. Despite the religious and social conservatism in some areas of life, there's a strong emphasis on personal appearance, especially facial aesthetics. It's a form of self-expression and personal empowerment for many, allowing them to exert control over their bodies and how they are perceived, even if other forms of expression are limited. This obsession also supports a highly skilled and competitive plastic surgery industry in Iran, attracting patients from across the region due to its expertise and relatively lower costs. It challenges the monolithic view of Iranian society as entirely austere and uniform, highlighting a very human, sometimes superficial desire for self-improvement and aesthetic conformity. It's like, in a society where so much is dictated, your nose, at least, can be entirely yours. So if you see someone sporting a bandaged nose, don't assume they had a fight with a doorframe. They might just be on their way to nose nirvana, a perfectly chiseled beacon of personal triumph. And honestly, it's a hilarious, slightly bizarre, but totally relatable aspect of a culture that constantly defies easy categorization. Just try not to stare. Unless it's a really good nose. And finally, for our 15th and final deadly sin, a fact that underscores the ancient and enduring spirit of this incredible land, something that existed long before any human drama. Deadly sin number 15. Iran is home to the Hyrcanian forests, which are over 25 to 50 million years old, a living relic of Earth's ancient past. That's right, these aren't just some pretty trees in the north. These are relics of a time before the Ice Age, a living fossil of a bygone era, a UNESCO Natural World Heritage Site that predates most human civilizations, most continents as we know them. Standing in these forests, stretching along the southern coast of the Caspian Sea, is like stepping into a time machine, witnessing a truly untouched piece of planetary history. These are forests that survived ice ages, geological shifts, and millennia of human impact. They are older than most concepts we have of civilization, older than the Roman Empire, older than the very idea of nations. They are a testament to the planet's endurance, ecological resilience, and deep geological time. This sin is the sheer, overwhelming, almost intimidating antiquity of a living ecosystem within Iran's borders. The Hyrcanian forests are a critical biodiversity hotspot, home to unique species of trees, plants, and animals, many of which are endemic to the region. They represent a vital piece of Earth's natural heritage and are crucial for climate regulation, oxygen production, and ecological stability. Their existence challenges the often arid image of Iran and reveals a lush, incredibly ancient landscape that has quietly persevered for eons. While we squabble over political borders and fleeting ideologies, these trees have simply been. It's a powerful reminder that while headlines come and go, while human empires rise and fall, some things in Iran have stood the test of eons, silently witnessing the relentless march of time. It puts everything into perspective. The conflicts, the politics, the daily struggles, they are but a fleeting moment in the life of these ancient giants. So the next time you think of Iran, don't just think of its current complexities. Think of the millions of years of life that have flourished there, long before any human narrative began. It's a humbling, almost spiritual experience, and it underscores the profound, enduring spirit of a land that is far, far older than any of our fleeting judgments. And that, my friends, is a truth as solid as those ancient trees. So there you have it, 15 deadly sins, or perhaps, 15 absolutely baffling, brilliant, and utterly bizarre truths about Iran, the most eccentric country on Earth. It's a place of incredible contrasts, ancient yet modern, traditional yet surprisingly rebellious, fiercely independent yet incredibly hospitable. If this video has done anything, I hope it shattered some misconceptions and sparked a fire of curiosity in your adventurous little hearts. Because the world is so much bigger, and so much weirder, than the headlines let on. And if you're not constantly challenging your own perceptions, you're missing out on the greatest show on Earth. Now, if your mind is buzzing and you're itching to learn more about the world's hidden gems and shocking truths, then you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button like it owes you money, ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next wild ride into the unknown, and most importantly, tell me in the comments, what was the most surprising deadly sin about Iran for you? And what other eccentric countries should we brutally, honestly, and hilariously dissect next? Let's keep this conversation going, because the truth is out there, and it's far more interesting than fiction.